Hello, and welcome to 523 North Clay. We're here in Ferguson, Missouri, and we're in a very well laid out subdivision that was started just before World War II and completed in the early years after World War II. As a result, these houses blend the combination of the craftsmanship that went with earlier builds with the standardization that came with the new era and new technologies. This house in particular was built in 1950, and it very much does have a pre-war Cape Cod look to it. You can see with the story and a half, as well as the connection, which would have been a breezeway between the house and the garage. As we come around to the inside, we'll go in through the front door. Probably one of the few times it's ever used, because most of the time people will use the breezeway door because it's just so much more convenient. Coming inside here, we have a very large living room, open plan into the dining, and then a large picture window right behind me. These are the original oak floors. Although my thought is there was originally a smaller dining room opening, possibly. The reason I say that is I can see a little bit of a difference to the plaster finish, as well as some different oak that's laid in between the floor cross-grain. So there was probably a narrower archway originally, but opening it up does make the space feel so much more open and spacious. Again, you can tell that this has a lot of the pre-war features like these archways here, which go into the kitchen. Obviously, later on, it would have either been open or would have been a squared-off opening. 42-inch cabinets with butcher block countertop in the kitchen, and a period-correct 12 by 12 tile floor. Although in modern colors, maybe not quite the bright pastels, which were a feature at that time. Again, it's a spacious kitchen. Then this walks down through the breezeway. This is called a breezeway because although this now has double pane windows, the windows in here would have likely have been storm windows, and it would have been designed to get a cross breeze through the house or through having screen doors left open. It's been repurposed for today's use, though, as a main floor laundry. This does walk out to the backyard. We have a nice deck up here. And the rolling terrain of this neighborhood does give you a nice elevation too over the backyard. Can definitely hear those cicadas out. Love hearing that this time of year. And coming on through. Here on the main floor, we have 2 bedrooms. This bedroom here, which may well be the primary bedroom, very nicely sized. Again, everything crisp, clean woodwork. I love the original doors were preserved with stain. They aren't covered in 18,000 layers of paint over the years. And then we come through into the bathroom here. Have a tub, the wall kit, toilet and sink. And then, as we come through into the second bedroom here, you can see that this was designed to be a multi-use room. So, it's a good-sized bedroom, currently set up as an office. and it was open through to the kitchen. And you can tell that's the way this house was designed, because it does have an original door there. So that's the main floor. Now we have the second floor. And these houses were usually built with the second floor. It may have been finished from new, but oftentimes that was done a few years later as families grew. So we walk along to the end. And we have this room, which is the alternative primary bedroom, I guess you could say. Which is also a very good size. Much larger than the others, obviously, because it's built into the roof. We do have a floor vent here, but as always, because we're built so far into the roof, having an extra air conditioner is always helpful to take that extra heat off the summer, just because there's less insulation between you and the sun, which is just the nature of this style of architecture. Have the second floor bathroom here. Good sized shower. And toilet and sink. And this is a shelf back style sink that was popular in the mid-century. They're really cool because, number one, they have a shelf on top for keeping your little knickknacks and toiletries on, but they don't take up that much space. And I just think any of these sinks that have the faucets built into them are super cool. This one's cast iron, but some of them were also porcelain. Then we have a large cedar closet or storage closet here. I call it a cedar closet by just call all of them cedar closets. The way you call a vacuum a Hoover, but they're only cedar closets if they're cedar. Then we have a second bedroom on this floor. And this one was probably built later or finished out later. You can tell because it has the knotty pine paneling. And it does have a heat pump style air conditioner there too, which was just installed. So in addition to these two floors that we have here, we also have a basement. And again, that's why these houses were so popular at the time, because you got so much house into something which from the street does not really look that huge. And as we adjourn down into the basement, we have space, a decent height ceiling, which again was a 1950s trademark. You know, before that, when you go into some of the videos, you can see my head's only a few inches above the ceiling and I'm not very tall. This one has a legitimately usable basement. Looks quite nice and dry down here too, so there's plenty of scope for doing something with this space, especially because it does walk out to the backyard. We have a great sized backyard here. And when we turn around and look at the house from behind, you can get a better idea of the scope of the size of the house. You can see how much larger it looks from the rear, because again, we have those dormers that face the back here. And with the finished basement, you could have, gosh, depending on how much you finish, you'd have over 2,500 square feet, maybe more than that, maybe closer to 3 if you finished a lot of it off. So even more space if the bedrooms and bathrooms above aren't quite enough. You need more space, there's room for it down here. And I'll just come through a little bit here, just because it's interesting. The garage does go under the breezeway here. And then this is very unusual. We have this space here under the garage. So you have cement above, cement below. I'm guessing that would be the place you would run to in the middle of a tornado. it would probably be the safest place in the neighborhood. Not many houses have those either. So that's really a unique feature here. As I come back upstairs, I'll end our video back up in the living room. Again, just wanted to thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.